Oh, good Friday morning. It's the John and Dave show. 5 minutes late because, of course, we had to go to Starbucks after a workout. Good morning, everybody. Where's my handsome, bestest friend in the entire universe, John Acuff? Well, he's here. I'm sorry I'm late. I hope he still wants to do the morning little extravaganza that we've got here called the John and Dave show. John, are you there? Oh. It wouldn't be a Friday morning with John and Dave if there wasn't a technical thing happening here. Hold, please. Let's see if we can get John on the old line. How's everybody doing? Good Friday morning, good start to the day? Let's hope so. Waiting for John. Waiting for John. John says, I'm here. That's so odd. Okay, so I'm requesting John to come in. Hey, John, come on in. Krista says she'll join, and it could be the John and Dave and Krista show. It's nuts. What is happening to technology this morning? Happy Friday. All right. Maybe not. Let's try again. Oh, Martin wants to come in. Feels like it's not the Dave and Martin show. Why, John? Why is the internet doing this? Jackie's 29 today? Jackie, happy 29th birthday. What are you doing today for your birthday? I mean, besides losing the last 3 minutes of your life waiting for me to get John Acuff on the old show. I mean, it feels like really the technical advisor of the John and Dave show should be fired immediately because we're still having problems. Good morning from Wyoming. Hello. Happy Friday. John's trying. I'm trying too. Kelly's heading to Austin next month for her 15th wedding anniversary. All right. Well, I mean, Heidi's sitting in the car doing her makeup. If she's watching this, she should walk on in. We could do a Heidi and Dave show until John comes in because this just is the worst. I wonder why, like, honestly, Instagram hates us. It really is. It's given us trouble. Rosa, good morning from Long Beach. Patrice, good morning from Oregon. What's up in Detroit? Invite you? I have invited you. I've invited you multiple times, John. I'm sending a request to you. Please, come. Come inside. Come to this. John said invite him. I know. Hi, Sarah. Good morning. IG doesn't want to do anything. Dr. Diane in San Diego checking in, making sure everybody's doing well today. I don't know, John. I don't know why. People inside the Instagram universe just hate us so much. It's a technical difficulty kind of day again. What in the world? What's on people's minds? What's going on? Let's not waste this time while we're hanging out together. Wait a second!
Dude, come on.
I was nervous.
Well, I just getting punched in the stomach all week by tech. I don't know what I did.
It's not right.
No, it's not good. I'm so glad we made it. I kept just hitting, let's request it, and be like, and then a red mark would come up and go, we didn't send that. We didn't even tell Dave. We're not even telling him. That's what it would say. I was like, you son of a, like, you know what we need? We need MySpace or Classmates. Classmates.com never had this issue.
Classmates? What's Classmates.com?
You don't remember that? It was like the first, like, it was the very first, like, before MySpace. It was like an online yearbook, and it was called Classmates.com. And I think they had 7 users. But if you wanted to connect with one of those 7 people, if you knew them, if you were like, oh, there's Cheryl from the Y, that was convenient. It's helpful. It's helpful. Dude, before this, I was doing a live Q&A about perfectionism on Crowdcast, and the video wouldn't work for the first 10 minutes, and it was about perfectionism, and I was like,
perfect.
And so then I finally figured it out, and then 10 minutes in, somebody said, does John have like a big piece of white fuzz on his head? And dude, like right on top of my head, like, and it wasn't like I'd been breakdancing this morning, you know, where like you could get your head dirty on the floor. No, I wasn't filming Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. And anyway, I was just like, this is, so then when I came here and I couldn't get in, I was like, oh man,
It's what we were talking about last week. The internet has a feeling when something is about to break.
Yeah, they know,
we're right
and
on the cusp.
they want us to not go viral. I feel like every week we say virally kind of things that a lot of people would like, and they go, no. Big tech is keeping us down. We're getting we've already been demonetized. We haven't made any money. And
None.
I blame that on big tech somehow.
None. No sponsors. Nothing.
No. Tonal. I saw a Tonal commercial the other day on TV, and I was like, I know you have money. I know you have.
You're spending money on traditional advertising. Why not unconventional advertising?
Traditional is dead, man. This is where it's at.
This is the next frontier.
Oh, this is the frontier. Okay, so I have questions.
Let's go.
I know you have answers. So the first question is, if you were going to make a signature candle scent. So I don't know if you want to call it the Dave Hollis. In my opinion, I'm calling it Hollis because it sounds like somewhere rich people live. Have you been to Hollis? I have. The trees there are old and mature and lovely. You have to make a candle scent, signature scent. What's the scent?
I actually think it's two candles that are inside of a jar together, one of which is butterscotch and the other of which is bacon. And then they just come together to create bacon butterscotch scent in your bedroom, and you are literally, not figuratively, in heaven.
So let me ask you this. Does one melt first and then they go into each other, or is it simultaneous wicks?
Simultaneous wicks, they come down together, and as the scents go in the air, they swirl together like a twist at McDonald's. And now you have the scent of both butterscotch and bacon inside of your nose.
So the 2 days that the McDonald's ice cream machine is working, that's what you're referring to?
Twice a year.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because everyone watching this has tried to order ice cream at McDonald's, and they'll be like, "It's not working. No shit, it's not working." So okay. I think that's an amazing candle
Bacon
smell.
scotch. Bacon scotch is what it's been called.
Bacon scotch. That's good. You should TM that. You should. Was there a candle manufacturer right there? Is that who you're looking at? Is that?
Are you the one that makes the candles in this family?
Yeah, exactly. That's a candle pour? Okay, this one's a little more serious. Dream guest for your podcast. You have a podcast. A lot of people know that. Dream guest.
Well, I mean, one of the guests is going to be the woman who's standing in the room over my shoulder, because the story of how we met, Heidi and I invited her to be a guest on the Rise Together podcast for a conversation about divorce. When I had not yet met her in real life, she came to the house. We sat in this chair and that chair, and I was unable to even utter words because I was still so early in the process. But it began our friendship that turned into more than friendship. And so the podcast episode that has never been recorded, she's going to be a great guest, being able to talk about and tell the story of all of that.
Wow. Yeah.
Beyond that, I'm fascinated by politics. So finding someone who has previously been a president, who has had insight into the CIA or something like that. I want to be able to ask questions that they could, of course, never answer, but just hang out and maybe off the podcast, learn a couple of things, and then on the podcast, leave some breadcrumbs.
Now, would you accept Guam? I don't know if Guam has a president, but former president of Guam, is that in the mix?
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
So screw Star Wars, screw Harry Potter. Also, don't care about Guam.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure that Guam is amazing. Now I'm going to get letters from everyone in Guam. I just don't know enough about Guam to be really excited about it. I could find out that Guam is the most interesting country in the world. Guam may be the spokesperson for Dos Equis soon. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I would like to talk to somebody that I have I don't know. I need to have a lot of information about the thing that I'm going to be asking questions about. I don't know anything about Guam.
But here's the thing. It's small. So I have to assume gathering Guamish information is very easy. We're not, it's
Eric's
physically.
telling us that Guam's a part of America. So the president of Guam is the president of the United States.
Do we trust Eric as a historian? Is that in his bio?
I know that every person listening here knows more
Yeah.
than the two of us, period.
That's actually true. That's actually very factual. So you know what? I'm gonna take his feedback on that. That is fantastic. Oh, this one's tough, and maybe I'll discover an additional large section of pop culture that you don't like. Who do you think is the best Batman?
Who do I think is the best Batman? You know, I don't like Batman movies.
No,
But
you do you really not?
well, it just if it can't happen in real life, it can't be a thing that I really enjoy. And Batman couldn't happen in real life.
Wait, so that means all of Marvel, all of DC movies, you're like, nobody can fly, so I hate Superman?
Yeah.
No. Dave, for somebody I know who can dream and has a big imagination, it has borders. It has some hard borders right now.
My imagination has very stringent, has to have an ability to take place on the planet kind of rules.
But Batman can. That's where you're wrong. Batman is actually the only one where he's just a rich guy with discipline. Like he is, yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he could disappear as easily when somebody turns, like when Commissioner Gordon turns his back and Batman's gone. Fair enough.
All right.
But,
you know what? I'll give it to you. Batman is the exception to my imagination rule.
Okay. So who's the best?
Ben Affleck, because no one liked him as Batman, and someone needs to like Ben Affleck.
I feel like he's done pretty well. Like somebody's liked him. I mean, he's like, isn't he?
J-Lo's liking him right now.
J-Lo again, yeah. Who? I mean, you think a Geely 2 is on the books, maybe?
You know what's crazy? Like J-Lo, just for 2 seconds, like J-Lo gets out of a relationship with A-Rod and could literally go out with any person on the planet. Ben Affleck calls her. Like, number one, Ben was sitting there like, when's this going to break up?
Yeah.
He calls her like the day that things break up, and they're just like, boom, back together again.
Yeah. How do you feel like Mark Anthony feels about all this? You think he's somewhere, like he's writing a song?
He's dancing a salsa to this. He thinks it's fantastic. Because he likes to be entertained.
Those hips don't lie. I'll tell you that about Mark Anthony.
Haven't lied forever. Where's Shakira today? Exactly.
Ooh, I don't know. Not maybe in Guam. For all I know, she likes Guam.
Might not be.
Unlike you. So you say Ben Affleck. I think people say Michael Keaton, but I don't know if I agree with that. I like Christian Bale. I didn't like the voice he did because it felt cheesy. But Christian Bale is one of those.
Christian Bale was amazing. I probably would say Michael Keaton if I was being serious.
Yeah, Michael Keaton, I think was a great Bruce Wayne, but that's a different question. So see, now we're getting super nerdy, where you go, who is the best Bruce Wayne versus Michael Keaton? Okay, so we're getting off track.
Getting deep.
It is pretty deep. So here's another question. This one's a little more personal. Where does your drive come from? Your drive. So like the things you're doing take drive. Writing a book is not easy. Like I saw somebody today. It was like somebody like giving author tips, and it was like one of the, a simple way to grow your author platform is to write more books. And I was like, oh, okay, that is simple. Why didn't I think of that? I'll start the tippity toppity. Like, let's go. Where does your personal drive come from?
So the thing I've been like really connected to in the last year or so's worth of time is this like question I keep asking: how do I feel about myself when I'm by myself? Like, big question, but if you can get to the bottom of why you feel the way you do when you're by yourself, then maybe you can engineer a way of feeling better about yourself when you're by yourself. And the way that I've felt the best about myself on the days that I put my head on the pillow and I'm like, yo, this was a good day. It's the days when I have been able to live fully in integrity with who I know I was put on this planet to be and how I actually showed up for the day. And so I just, again, especially in this last year, it's like, what am I going to do next? Or what am I doing now? The question keeps coming back to, how can I honor the intention of my creator? Right? I think every single one of us was created with very, very specific tools, talents, experiences. Like there was no mistake in how each of us was created. And so then if the creation had intention, how you honor that intention with your actions each day end up being the like big answer to life's question. So that's part one. The second big part, I am someone who leverages negative visualization, which is a very, very bizarre thing. Most people are positive visualization. I'll cast a vision in the future and I can like see the good, and the good makes things better. And I am someone who I can imagine birthday dinner with my kids and like with all of the people that matter in my life, but my adult kids 20 years from now. And a tradition in our house is that we raise a glass to each person who is having a birthday, and they say the things that they are proud of or how they've made an impact in their life. And I can visualize two versions of the dinner. One version where, hey, I'm 65. Everyone is crying. They're so proud. They've been so profoundly impacted. I'm the best grandpa now to their kids, all these things. Or I can see the version of the dinner where not all of them show up. Those that do don't have much to say. And that, like, that negative visualization, that's the thing that gets me up. Like, I don't feel like it today. Like, oh, you better feel like it because you got a dinner to be at in 20 years. And that, like, that's super motivating to me.
Well, you know, so I wrote about that and studied that in a book I wrote where there's two forms of motivation. There's reward and consequence. Or another way they say it is approach and avoidance. I do these three things. I approach this reward. I do these three things and I avoid this negative situation. And that it's really fascinating that different people are motivated in different ways. So for me, there's times where I bought a pair of ski boots when I finished a book because I was like, that'll be the reward. Because if you've ever rented ski boots, it's like renting prisons for your feet. Like your feet are like, what did we do wrong? Like it always like I always think like too, like when I, you know, like that they are just tortured. So I was like, I'll buy the ski boots. That was a reward. But when I give speeches, what motivates me is the fear of bombing. Like I love the clapping, I love the laughter, I love that. But my nightmare is I'm on stage, I've got 60 minutes and I'm done in 10 minutes. And it's just 50 minutes of me being like, you guys like queso? Like, what's the deal with Batman? Like that is my nightmare. And so I think part of our job as individuals, as humans, is to go, the things that I do in my life, the things I might not want to do, how do I add some reward? How do I add some consequence depending on which one motivates me the most? And where you see that, like where leaders see it is, one of the worst moments you'll have as a leader is when you try to motivate somebody with the wrong form of motivation. So you give somebody a reward that's not reward motivated and they come off as entitled because that's not their language. That's not their currency. And so like, I remember a woman I worked with at Auto Trader, they gave us orange iPod shuffles. And I remember she was like, oh, this is such a dumb color. And I was like, usually a company gives you a chocolate shape of their logo at the end of the year or like an acrylic, you know, like paperweight. And I was like, we got an orange iPod shuffle. And I was like, she's entitled. But no, that wasn't her value. They could have given her 100 iPod shuffles. It wouldn't have moved the needle because it didn't motivate her. So I love that that's the way you think about it. Super, super cool. Okay. I've already asked you that one. I've got so many questions in here. Okay. You've got a month to write a book without distractions. In this story, a month to write a book. Where do you go? Like, and minus kids, like this is a story, like there's no, like, I'm going to be back and forth. Like you're given an isolated month to go write a book. Where are you writing it?
I mean, this is such a lame answer, but I'll show you this. I wrote the entire book that I just turned in on the chair that I'm sitting in. And
was the dog there that whole time?
The dog was there guarding the house, making sure that no one would mess with me. Like, I'm lucky. I'm fortunate, blessed, whatever. I have a backyard that is the place that I would write. And in real time, I'm actually like, I'm putting like a little guest house. So like if my parents want to come stay or whatever, but on the second floor, there's going to be a studio that overlooks all the green. And that is going to be the place where I'm going to write because it's the thing I know that I'm on this planet to do. I love these kids. They're amazing. If there was only a single thing that makes this, like patio of peace thing that exists in my backyard, not an ideal place, it's that they come home from school or here we are in summer, like I'm thinking about like, how do I work inside of this house for this entire summer? I don't know. So I'm going to finish up on that, but I would write right here because this is, there's so much good here. There's so much, like, to be honest, like writing this last book, there was so much emotion in this house that's sitting in this house that I was also talking about the transition of my marriage inside of the book, not like in detail, but like the emotion of that change. It was great to be able to like tap into it just sitting right here on this chair. So I do it here.
Can people pre-order the book yet?
They can. I mean, the thing is, I'm going to do so many cool pre-sale
Yeah.
incentives, and I think we're
Uh-huh.
making those available in July. So like, we'll get to it. But I mean, you
Okay.
could if you wanted to. You'd still get the incentives anyway.
Because
But
I'm gonna be a hype man. Like when
I
you're
know you.
able
No,
to, like,
save the
like
hype, man.
this
Save the
is we
hype.
can promote on this. Like, because I want to say, like, I have a challenge I'm about to do about perfectionism that I think everyone who's watching this would absolutely love. So like, come with me, acuff.me/challenge. Like perfectionism, 5 days, acuff.me.me. It's the least cool website. It's up there with .org, but whatever. acuff.me/challenge, 5 day perfectionism challenge. So when you
Awesome.
have stuff that you're doing, I totally want to make sure that we go, hey, the book, because I just endorsed it the other day.
Yes,
And
you did.
so I'm excited about it. The illustrations look gorgeous. I think people are going to love it. So I'm excited about it. I think it's
Thanks,
going to be
dude.
super fun. All right, last question. Um, what is a hobby that you'll get into when you're older? Like when you're an older gentleman, when you are that 65-year-old grandfather, what's a hobby that you're like, I could see me really being into blank? For me, it's birding. I think I'll be super into birds.
Birding.
Yeah, I think that's happening. Like, I think I'm gonna have binoculars and a vest. Like, I could see, like, that train has left the station. It just hasn't come yet, but I'm gonna do that.
It's
I'm
not.
gonna be into birds.
I can tell you. I was thinking about it. The thing that it's not going to be for me is birding. So
That
that's.
is ridiculous. Why don't we call this joyful things Dave doesn't like and John asks him about them? Like, what? Like,
I just don't know. Like, no, I'm not judging you, but I'm super judging
well,
you. This is the thing you
yeah,
want to do with your life, and I want to
dude.
celebrate you.
They're like, I heard somebody once say, they're like, if you want to understand the creator, if you want to understand God, get a bird feeder, because you're going to you're going to have access to a 1,000,000-mile migration in your backyard and floating art. Like, we've never created an airplane or anything that'll ever rival the ability of a robin to burst into the air and 1,000 different feathers. Like, so you're very wrong about birds are dope. Snakes, I'll
Yeah.
agree with you. Like, your backyard is like, when you just showed me your backyard, I could
Packed with
practically,
snakes.
I could see so
Packed
many
with.
snakes, so many rattlesnakes, and y'all have serious snakes. But what are you going to get into? So not birding, but there's other stuff.
What? Well, here's the thing. Like, I want to try to do something in woodworking. Like, I want to
Uh,
build like
yeah.
end tables. Now, my dad is a contractor. My brother, a finished carpenter who's worked with my dad, taken over my dad's company since he's retired.
Mhm.
I can barely swing a hammer. Like, I just have no like skill whatsoever. And
Did
yet,
that cause tension?
no, I mean, like, I
Okay.
still like I would work in the summers with him. Like, hey Dave, get up on the roof. I'm like, I'm afraid of the roof. Like
Yeah,
it just.
yeah,
But I wanted so badly to be close to him, and so like I
yeah.
ended up becoming the guy that was like in charge of sanitation. Learned how to drive the dump truck, moving the stuff that was being cleared from the site to the dump. But
Because that happened with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, if you read his book, he wasn't good at fixing cars, and his dad and his brother Larry were, and his dad would say, go inside with the women. And that shame, like, that became a wound, but it also became this, like, I'm going to crush my brother Larry at basketball. Like, it's a really
no,
interesting, like,
I mean, here's the thing.
oh,
I was so comfortable acknowledging that like hammers swinging towards nail hits thumbnail. Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
knew very
yeah,
early on, like this isn't my thing, and it was their thing. But I also, my dad gets so excited for even like the project we're doing here at the house. Like he like saw the plans and thinks about
yeah,
the design, and and that's just like it's in his blood. And so then
yeah,
there's this part of me that's like, I'd love to tap into that thing. I know it has to exist here somewhere. And
yeah,
maybe when life slows down and I create a little shop, then I can start like building little end tables and refinishing, old things I find at like a
yeah,
junk store. And it turned it into something that I can be proud of, because
yep,
the very few times that I end up going on like a Home Depot mission and I make one small change, the pride that I feel like,
yeah,
look what I did. The
yeah,
sprinkler head has been replaced.
yeah,
I'm here I feel so proud, and it's
totally.
because I very rarely do those things. I just don't have it in me.
Well, part of it is most of our work is digital or virtual and not physical. So when you create a physical thing or you change a physical thing, I'll tell you, and we're almost out of time. When I first got married, I thought I could make my wife a nightstand. I was like, how hard can that be? I got no plan. I got a catalog, like a Restoration Hardware catalog. I was like, I can make that. And then I was like, I'm going to carve a topiary into the front. Let's add wood, like carving. I bought like 7 pieces of wood and a jigsaw and like 10 other items that weren't connected. I came home and I made the heaviest, most nail-filled box you've ever seen. I brought the wood to like a 6-year-old named Cosmo Percoco, best name ever. And he was like, this wood is all warped. They shouldn't have even sold you this wood. So he was like, I'll help you make it. So I was in his shop, and eventually he's like, get out. I'll deliver it when it's done. And so we still have that nightstand. And if anything, it's a testament to my optimism that I could be like, I could probably pick that up like today. Like, let me just, what do I need, a jigsaw? Like, I'll buy one of those. So I salute your ability to do that eventually. I know that's not coming, but I love it. I love it.
I want to make you an end table one day, you son of.
Let's go. This is always fun.
Sorry.
We got to do it. We should probably say it starts at 10:36-ish. That feels more realistic.
You know what? We worked out this morning.
Starbucks. I mean, it was the tech.
Heidi knows that Starbucks, like the people at Starbucks, unlike anything I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. So like if we aren't there by a certain time, they send people out to look for her. They're worried that something has happened if we don't get to Starbucks by a certain time.
Well, so, I love this. This is always fun. A lot of people I've heard have said, like, it's even better than with Carlos. And I'm like, that's weird to say specifically. But, I mean, that's what I'm hearing on the streets. Yeah. So a lot like in the street when I'm buying milk, like my milkman came over the other day. I was like, hey.
Why you got to call Carlos out by name?
Weird. Yeah, because he's amazing. Like, as soon as he is so good, dude. Like, I think everybody should follow him. I've known him for 10 years, dude. Like, so I'm such a huge Carlos guy, and we both lived in Atlanta, and so I love that you love him too. But Dave, have a great rest of your weekend.
You too, buddy.
Heidi, goodbye. See you guys.
Take care, brother.